points which I thought I should put across to this audience, especially to the greatest of the world who are here. And I'm very proud that you are here. Let's think about what is the region we are talking here. Mr. Saxena said that India has huge potential of solar. India total requirement today is around 373,000 megawatt. My apologies for a bit technical. I earn my living for it and from it. But let me say, when I looked at it, in the total solar potential of this country, which stands at around 748,000 megawatt, Ladakh has 111,000 megawatt. It's huge. It's an eye-opener. 15% of the total renewable solar, which is possible from this country, the total potential, is from one region. When I look into more data points on this, I realized that the total power production in J&K is around 4,000 megawatt. The number is 3,883, but let's take to the ballpark. Out of that, it's only 5% which is solar. And most of it is off-grid. And just to share with you, the off-grid and on-grid is that the off-grid solutions which my company is providing from 20 years in that region is primarily when you have nothing else in life, no grid, have a solar panel with a storage which is pretty expensive, but then you have a source of power for you. And if you ask me, most of it, and since we have an office there from 20 years, is predominantly for the lighting purpose. It has no industrial use out there. You need a lamp, and you would see that in most of the monasteries there, schools there. We do it as a business, but a lot of people and the organizations are doing it as a CSR, which is sad to know that we are providing a basic necessity as a part of a CSR when that potential in that particular area is there. I'm going to quote Mr. Vittal. I was really impressed with this sentence called "Geographies define livelihood." And it was so apt when I look back without being there, that this geography, which has a potential of providing power to the whole country, and not only just as a charity that you should provide it, it is a great business opportunity. If you ask me, this country, which has from 2014 to 2000 now at 20, from a 4,000 megawatt of solar has reached 24,000 megawatt, has still not tapped a region which has 111,000 megawatt. There's nothing which is required. You have the place there. You're not going to corrupt that place. You are not going to cover your roads or very fertile areas which we are doing in Tamil Nadu's and Telangana's of the world, where the agricultural land is being utilized for this purpose. You have the land there, you have the radiation there, you have everything which is required for this power. We need this power. This country need a renewable power per se. The per capita consumption of this country is 1/3 of the world average, is 1/10 of advanced countries like US. As we increase our GDP, as we increase our per capita consumption, the power is going to be there. Now with this EV, which is setting up and taking away the source of energy, let me share with you that if you look at from a macro level what energy is, irrespective of it is fossil fuel, nuclear power, or renewable power, in the current stand in the world, you have around 36% of the energy which comes as, which is being sourced as electricity. By 2050, this world will have 86% of it coming as electricity. And then there is a place which has 110 or 111,000 megawatts just to be tapped. All it requires, Mr. Vittal mentioned, is a transmission line, which is no big deal. Take my word. We have been working very closely with around that 7,500 megawatt tender, which has been unendingly not ending. And all it requires is evacuation from transmission line experts which are there in this country. We have been talking to PGHCIL for that. And today when I am sitting here, I'm just not getting a clue that why are we not advancing. It happens. Let me put another aspect to it, which we as an industry are suffering. When we talk of renewable power, by nature it's an infirm power. Since it's an infirm power, at a grid you need some stabilizer. Apologies again for being too technical, but all we need is, at any given time when the cloud comes, it dips. but the grid can't afford to dip. You need power at the same frequency at home. You need stabilizer. If you look at J&K per se, even in the today's context of whatever they are producing around 4,000 megawatt, 60% of that is a hydro. Now let me make a similarity or a metaphor with respect to Europe. What happens in Europe? Today, Germany, if they claim that I am 100% on a renewable power, then a lot of that is solar and wind in that country. But when it dips, you have the hydros in Czechoslovakia, Poland, which immediately pump the power to the grid so that our homes or their homes have that power. J&K has a huge potential for this stabilizer which are required in the grid so that every time it dips, hydro is the only way. We can't wait for Teslas to prepare or manufacture batteries which will come at a cost when we will use it. It's just not be there. It requires so much amount of lithium. It requires so much amount of other technologies that if we start waiting for it, we are done. And when we have a region of a J&K in totality along with Ladakh, who has a stabilizer as hydro, each one of us are looking for it. Even yesterday, there was a first tender of 1200 megawatt, which could just be subscribed by 1200 megawatt in this country. And that is for round-the-clock power with the storage capacity. We are all struggling for it. And we have a natural resource at a place where you have a hydros, which still you are producing 2,400 megawatt, and you have a solar in abundance. You don't need anything else to make it a great business opportunity. I'm not talking here, sir. My apologies, as a sustainable solution. I am not at all talking here from this platform after all the show and the thunders to talk about that let us do it incrementally. I am looking forward for that region to prosper as a business hub. There is an opportunity now. We have the technology now, we have the need now, and there is a region which can just do it. You don't need to do it self-evidently. And then let us see what happens. Let me give you an idea about when we go out to Telangana, when we go out to all those non-descriptive places to put on a solar project, actually what happens here. I would be so pleased to share with you that there we get those local entrepreneurs. When you have those billions and dollars coming from outside, first of all, when you have a project of this nature, there are pension funds in Canada. And then there are other funds who are very much eager to spend their monies or invest their monies in this green power. So you have a foreign exchange which is coming in rather than what we are buying as a petrol out there. Secondly, when we do out across there, you have a sustainable solutions, not only to make it. I'm not saying let's make panels there, let's make structures there. Don't pollute the place by making steel and cement. But then there is an O&M which comes across, the operations and maintenance of those plants. There is a technology which comes across, there is a connectivity which comes with it because you need that connectivity, you need that technology to sustain that investment. Automatically the region prosper. If you look at it, the skill development doesn't need to go out and say that please come to our institute. There are enough entrepreneurs who comes. That's our personal experience. I thought I will do it in 5 minutes. Sorry for being passionate, but I think there is a great opportunity which I will request to each one of you who are the stakeholders there to take it forward. And we are always there to support you on the business from that front. Thank you very much.
Thank you.